Hi, gang. Dan here, the Living Room Guitarist. Welcome into a special edition of the show. For this episode, we talked to a great guest where basically you get to eavesdrop on a conversation between, let's just say it, two middle-aged guys who are totally geeking out over guitars, amps, and classic rock, and it's super cool, and sharing some really fun guitar licks too. And we start with that all-important question: why the guitar? Yeah, so I don't know how many of the other episodes you had a chance to look at, so you saw the format of the show. It's really informal.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it sounds cool. It sounds cool. I'm tempted to just fall into sort of talking about the rig and all that stuff, which I'm happy to do, but like I said, I'll go any direction you like. Yeah, I like the Fender room. I do have a Fender I play Fender amps, but I like my whole guitar journey is based on one theme, which is I basically wanted to be Pete Townsend.
Bring us a little bit into your journey here. Well, now you're too young to have seen the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. So was it the Who? I know you're a big
Yeah, no, definitely a big Who fan. The probably the formative rock or even musical experience was I saw Queen in 70. They're touring their fifth record, Day at the Races. So I was 11. I was Queen. I was probably early 77 here in Seattle, and it was great. I went by myself, and Thin Lizzy opened up. It was the Jailbreak tour, I
Oh
think, or at
my.
least they played a lot of that. And life's never been the same. That was it. So Queen, and I saw the Who, the same tour as that horrible tragedy in Cincinnati. So shortly after that, Keith Moon had already died, so it was the Kenny Jones version. But they were still spectacular. I mean, they were just so good.
Mhm.
So I had a lot of really cool early live rock experiences.
Folks, you're coming into the middle of a conversation here on the Living Room Guitarist. By the way, this is another episode. Our guest today is Al, and he's joining us from the Great Northwest. And we're just talking about guitar journeys and all that. And it's great to have you as a guest on the show. Now, I know you have a very active, busy professional life, and you're a family man. How often do you get a chance just to hang out with your instrument and make music?
Well, I think it's a really good question, Dan. I think when we look back, I'm 55. My life has been punctuated by intense music the time investment, but then years without it, to be frank. I mean, I'm in two bands right now, but I went 5 years without playing in a band. Now, so if I'm not playing in the band, I'm picking up the acoustic. I'm maybe busting out a little electric every now and then. I'm doing some more ambient or kind of experimental stuff by myself, but I'm not learning, rock leads and stuff like that. So I am happy to say that I think, playing better and more often now at 55 than I had for years before. So those of you who found a lull or the guitarist catching dust in the corner, the world may take you to a heavier guitar period. And I've definitely stopped and started many times. I play bass in a band, plays drums in a band, but mostly play guitar.
Excellent, excellent. So listen, when you're just hanging out in your living room, just kind of looking for inspiration, what are you playing these days that you wouldn't mind sharing with a bunch of amateurs like me
Sure.
and the tribe here?
Well, of course, being an amateur myself. So yeah, so if we're rocking out, if we're, by the way, this amp is my favorite thing of all time, other than this guitar. It's a Fender Frontman. It's got like a single 6-inch speaker. I have a twin reverb, like a proper like 70s twin reverb, like a beautiful, valuable amp that a friend gave me years ago. And I don't play it because it weighs 47,000 pounds. And I don't need it at home. And I don't need it. And this is a big realization for those of you who are gigging, sure, look, I just told you the whole Townsend story, the high watt and the Marshall stacks and all that stuff. I play this at home, and this is the same amp I gig with. So if I gig with this 15-watt 6-inch speaker amp, I bought a very nice guitar amp mic, and I just mic this. I mean, I'm not in the arena, so I'm playing some dumpy, some vanity gig or some bar. So that's one lesson I've learned. So I play this, and it's great because it weighs about 10 pounds and it's smoking. So I will play two things at home. I'll either play stuff getting ready for the band, or I'll play a little more kind of airy, kind of ambient stuff. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
Yeah, let's hear that little dynamo. This is a lot of fun. And this is a nice environment where all of us can get together as amateurs and we kind of share ideas back and forth and inspire each other and stimulate our creativity on the fretboard. So this is a great experience. And so Al's going to turn up his dynamo.
This thing, I don't know how it comes through the computer, but it has a very warm tone. So it can do all that. So
you can do all that.
It really just plays itself, I mean, you think of it as like the Angus Young sort of vibe, but which that's a great rock and roll band, AC/DC. I've never really been super into it, but as a guitar guy, just the versatility of this to play nearly anything, and play quiet and loud is really valuable. So I will, practicing or live, it has this great neck pickup, these old P90s. And so I will have the solo, which is atypical for I don't know about the Fender world. If you're doing, Sultans of Swing and other cool Fender stuff, they will often solo on the mix, right? Because the five spots on the Strat. I don't know where you play solos, but they'll usually play and the more bluesy stuff higher on the neck, and the more rock stuff more on the bridge pickup. But this will solo great on the neck pickup, and so I will play down on the. I'll switch mostly over to the bridge pickup to play the verse, and then if we're doing Tom Petty song or something, then when I want to solo. It gives a nice, it's an odd, not an odd combination, but it's not atypical, I should say. But I was running the Les Paul. I only ever solo on the bridge pickup, and like every donkey, I'm up to 10 on almost everything. But this does afford that. So if I'm playing, to answer long-windedly your question, if I'm playing at home, I'm usually learning songs. I'm trying new things. Mostly what I've been doing recently, really have never done before much of, is like minor blues rock. I'm not much of a blues guy, but you can't be a rock and roll player without understanding the blues. Mm-hmm. And it was always the same, right? Since I was 15, it was all. I mean, all versions of that, standard blues scale, but I've been trying to get more minory in there, and that's been fun. That's been a lot recently.
Now, is this stuff you're just doing straight through the pickups in the amp? Are you running any effects at all?
I have the one thing I'll use when I'm by myself is I have a couple different delays, but they're mostly really just for experimental stuff, or stuff I enjoy. I'm pretty sure no one else does, but like, for example, I mentioned Queen, like easily one of the most formative songs ever for me was the studio recording. And interestingly, the live recording a couple years later from Queen, from their third record, Sheer Heart Attack, the song Brighton Rock, which you've never heard it. If you've never heard it, it's the album with Killer Queen on and a few other awesome songs, but the center of that record is the opening of that record is Brighton Rock, which is kind of a rock, kind of a speed song for a while, and then it has this great refrain, and then it has this 2-minute thing that Brian May does on Red Special, which is his guitar with these 2 single delays. And it's pretty cool on the record, but it is really cool on Live Killers, which was a record recorded in Europe in '79, released in '79. It's a Queen live record. And it's all this sort of stuff.
Master of the delay and a lot of palm muting, it sounds like.
Yes, definitely a lot of palm muting. If I'm crunching, I'm definitely be palm muted. If I'm soloing, I'm on to the next note. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if I just don't want to have that note go on for very long, but I definitely do a fair bit of palm muting or just get on to the next note. I don't hold very often unless it's feedback. So the sustained notes that I'm not palm muting, I'm looking for feedback, like musical. I mean, it's not message feedback, I was in plenty of bands like that too, but it was mostly musical, like for musical effect.
Great. Well, listen, we're just about to wrap up here. I can't thank you enough for joining us this week and just kind of sharing your journey with us and your inspirations. And this is the kind of stuff that we learn from each other. We grow as players. Listen, if you wouldn't mind, can you take just a little piece of something and kind of play us out as we kind of wrap up this week's episode? Anything you want?
Sure. Let's go back to the kind of our band's been covering the old. It's actually a Creedence cover of. Gosh, I'm blanking on the guy's name. Anyway, it's the old. I Put a Spell on You. Not Sonny Boy Williamson. Any event. I know
what you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name too, but
yeah. But anyway, been playing that, and that's been kind of fun.
Let's hear that, SG. Thanks for joining us, folks. Don't forget to subscribe to the show as Al plays us out a little bit.